This question is annoying and tedious, but it's not that hard because we have the calculator. So we do need to maybe memorize one formula that the SAT isn't really giving us. That's the formula for density. We could use the units to set up a ratio, but I think it's just easier to know that density is the mass over the volume, right? So they give us the density, 1.6. They give us the mass is 2.3, so clearly we're solving for the volume. So we can cross multiply, we're going to get 1.6 V is equal to 2.3, and then we divide by the 1.6 to get that the volume is, make sure you actually use the calculator, 2.3 divided by 1.6 is 1.4375. Now, they're clearly trying to mess with us here because those are both the answer choices, whether we round up or stay kind of rounded down. But either way, that's not what they're asking for. They want the radius. That's why they gave us this formula. Now, it also might just be that they don't give it to us, that it's in the reference chart. But no matter what, you're never going to get this wrong because you don't know the formula for the volume of a cylinder. That is given to you on the SAT. So now we need to figure out, well, how do we find the radius from that? We're going to need to just plug it into that formula and solve. So 1.4375 is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, even with a calculator, it is easy to mess this up. So my recommendation is to treat things like one at a time. So what I would do here, just to play it really safe, let's start by multiplying both sides by 3. So times 3 to get rid of the 3 on the bottom. So 1.4375 times 3 is 4.3125. And now that's equal to 4 pi r cubed. Now, if you're careful, you can do all of this in one step. But again, I don't trust myself. So I'm going to divide by 4, get rid of that. So let's divide by 4. And we get 1.078125, but I'll kind of round it there, is equal to pi r cubed. Now let's divide by pi. And your calculator might have a pi button. Doesn't really matter if it does or not. You can remember, hopefully, that pi is 3.14. So let's divide. I'll use the pi button because why not? 1.078 divided by 3.1415, etc., is 0.343, and that is r cubed. Now that's an answer, but we're not done, right? We need to find r. This is r cubed, and so for this we can take the cubed root of both sides. That's going to get rid of the exponent, and so hopefully you have that button here. I actually, in my calculator, here's what I do. I'm going to raise this answer to the 1/3 power. I'm going to show you how I write it in my calculator. So I would do 0.343, that little caret, parentheses, 1/3. Certain calculators, it's easy to do weird roots. Others, it's not. But we also need to know for the SAT the difference between a radical and a fractional exponent, right? They're basically interchangeable. So the cubed root of something is the same as raising it to the 1/3. So that's actually the move that I make. Maybe that's easier for you. Maybe it's easier to find that button. Either way, you should get that r is equal to the only remaining answer choice, 0.70, and that is it. So it's a lot of work, a lot of plugging into equations, but notice it's just kind of then the motions of algebra, right? There's really not a lot of complexity to this. It's just kind of going robotically through the two equations, the one density equation that I gave you, and then the volume of a cylinder or of a sphere, which they gave you, and just working your way to the end without making any mistakes and making sure you actually get to the end and give them the radius, because all those wrong answers are just numbers you could get along the way.